So the last two verses of Romans chapter 2 I was reflecting on today. My quiet time says, "For no one is a Jew who is merely one outwardly, nor is circumcision outward and physical. But a Jew is one inwardly, and circumcision is a matter of the heart, by the Spirit, not by the letter. His praise is not from man, but from God." And Paul spent a lot of this chapter in chapter 2 talking about how the law doesn't save you if you're not doing the things the law calls you to do, because no one is justified by the law. And he talks about circumcision, that circumcision was, it's kind of an outward sign. It's not what saved you. It was a sign of the covenant. It wasn't your means of salvation. But the Jews saw this as a group that made them a special privileged people because of all God had revealed to them, because of the Ten Commandments, because of their history with God. They considered themselves, gave them a special status, that there was this entitlement that God would always save them and rescue them and be their salvation by the things he had given them and by the things they were doing, by keeping the sacrifices, by doing all these things. This is what saved them. This is what kept them in special relationship with God. But one of the things Paul does in this letter to the Jew is make it very clear that it's not circumcision, that it's not the things that you were called to do that saves you. It's God. It's always been by faith. Even Deuteronomy 36 and 10:16 talks about the circumcision of the heart as well as Jeremiah 4:4. You go back to Habakkuk 2:4, he says, "The righteous will live by faith." Abraham was credited to him as righteousness, as he will talk about in chapter 4, by faith. It's not by works. It's not by things they do. It's not by being circumcised. It's by none of that. And it made me think about our own relationship with Christ now by faith, that we can easily be tempted into walking into areas where we think we have to do. We have to do. The doing comes out of it. The doing comes through the power of the Holy Spirit as we keep in step with him. The doing comes out of love. But we don't do to be saved. We don't do to be made righteous. We don't do to be justified. That is solely the work of Christ through the Spirit in us, who cuts our hearts. As in Acts 2:37, where Peter gives that great speech, and it says they were cut to the heart. They repented, they believed, and that was by the power and hand of God. It wasn't by what they did. It was by what Christ and the power of God was doing in them. Romans 1:16 and 17, for it is not to be ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God. And so we just need to be cautious and contemplate in our own lives where we get into the habit of doing to think that is what keeps saving us. That is what keeps making us righteous and justified, by how much I give, by how much I serve, by how much I attend church, by how much I pray, by how much I read the Bible. That is not what saves us. It is Christ, and we enjoy him in relationship. So contemplate this today, where legalism and law have affected our lives instead of enjoyment of Christ.